So, maybe deciding to drive all over Austin during a record-breaking rainstorm wasn't my brightest idea. We dealt with flooded roads, sideways rain, and it was all for Magic the Gathering. But it was totally worth it. Welcome to Webby Does Magic, the channel where we do exactly that. We play Magic, we talk about Magic, and in this case, we buy a lot of Magic. Definitely more than we needed to. Hold up, let's get to the main point of this video. And to do that, let's start with the mission. We set out to hit every local game store in Austin, or at least all the ones we could realistically cram into this one rain-drenched day. Our mission? Check out the vibes, pick up some loot, maybe a couple cool playmats or two, and just soak in the local Magic scene. The only issue is that the weather was absolutely terrible, making getting anywhere a challenge in itself. From Rogue's Gallery up north all the way down to Lion's Heart down south, each shop had its own unique charm. Some were small and cozy, others were huge with walls of singles and rows of sealed product just daring for you to crack them. And with that, let's start far up north, technically Round Rock, with Rogue's Gallery. They've been around since 2007, and they pride themselves on being Round Rock's only independent and locally owned comic and game store. They are super diverse in their collection. They have something for everybody and every interest you could possibly have, and they also had some of the best Magic prices we saw in the Austin area. If you ever find yourself up north, definitely stop by and check out Rogue's Gallery. The next place we stopped at was Kastle in North Austin. They had a ton of product for both tabletop as well as Magic the Gathering, along with a large table area for you to play your games at. It was super big, super clean, generally a pleasant experience. I will say this place lacked the soul that a lot of the other game stores we visited this day had, but either way, it was a nice experience, and if you're in the area, definitely stop by and check them out. Mothership Games. This place was actually a store we were really looking forward to because we had heard a lot of great things leading up to this day. It's actually a relatively small store, but it was incredibly packed for its size. This place also hosted the largest Magic collection outside of maybe another store, which we'll get to later in this video. But Mothership had a large, extensive collection of Magic the Gathering products, as well as the first store we went to that had singles. Everybody here was super friendly, and it seemed like a really tight-knit community between the staff and customers. We're definitely going to be back here in the future. And right after Mothership, we have Wonkos. Unfortunately, Mothership set a super high bar. Not to say anything bad about Wonkos, it was actually quite nice with a good selection of product. I just don't have anything special to say about Wonkos. It's a game store that gets what it needs to get done. They do have really, really cool playmats though. Right after Wonkos, we went over to Pixel Haven, a nice little store right next to a sushi joint, which is a pretty big bonus in my opinion. This is your normal card store. They had a little bit of paint, but I didn't see any miniatures or anything like that, so I'm not sure what they have in that regard, but they had your normal card game accessories, as well as this cool little touchscreen thing that I didn't record to look at their stock and the largest selection of singles that we had seen up until this point. Unfortunately, the staff seemed pretty tied up in something, so we didn't get a chance to talk to them, but I do hear that the community around here is pretty tight-knit, so definitely check them out. And then there's Emerald Tavern. Honestly, this place felt like somebody dropped a British pub into a board game haven. You can rent games, play D&D in private rooms, order cocktails, beer, full meals. Like, I got these cheese curds, they absolutely slapped. My buddy rolled a D20 for a drink, and he said it was pretty good, and he got a brisket pie that he said tasted like he got a stamina buff. I really wish that I had more footage to really encapsulate what this place was like. Unfortunately, they didn't have a super large Magic the Gathering collection, but either way, this is definitely a place to come to. Bring your own cards, bring your own games, whatever you want. Like if it goes on a tabletop, bring it over to Emerald Tavern and have some really good food, really good drinks, and a really good atmosphere. You'll enjoy it. It was super cool, and I can't believe that I had never heard about it until I started doing research for this video. Now, you might think that Emerald Tavern was the coolest place that we'd stop by. We did too, until we pulled up to Pat's Games. Immediately, you're greeted by these two koi ponds with a stone bridge and all of these plants. I wasn't even sure that we were at a game store at first. But once we were inside, you're greeted by tons of product, including this cool booster pack vending machine that I had never seen before. But this place was absolutely awesome. It lived, breathed magic, literally, figuratively, whatever. All the product here seemed reasonably priced. They had a great selection of precons and other magic accessories, as well as a great selection of singles. Everybody here, both staff and customers, seem to really get along in like a little family. I definitely recommend, even if you're not in the area, you take a trip to come see Pat's Games, because we definitely will. Following up Pat's Games is Space Goblins, and I was a little worried that we'd be disappointed since we were just coming off of this super high bar of Pat's Games and Emerald Tavern, but we were pleasantly surprised that this place was just absolutely sick. The energy here with the staff and the customers was to the roof, and we were having a good time just being in here. They had a great selection of product, great prices, as well as a really cool selection of singles. The staff here were more than willing to answer all of my Magic the Gathering noob questions, explaining how events work and making sure I got connected to their Discord. I'm definitely going to be stopping by Space Goblins in the future and hopefully be able to participate in their little community, because everybody there seemed to be having a great time. But that's pretty much it. That's our Austin game store crawl. We definitely didn't hit every store. We missed a couple, like L's, Lionheart, Fellowship, Dragon Lair, just to name a few. Fellowship and Lion's Heart, we just couldn't make it there in time with all of the traveling that we did this day and the weather. Bell's wasn't open when we started. We have been to Dragon's Lair in the past. It was super crowded for some event, so we couldn't really give it its fair shake. But I will say the stock of Magic that I saw there was a little bit disappointing and surprising for such a large store. It seemed like it was just a small glass case, but I'd be willing to stop by and give it another chance. If you guys are ever in the South Austin area, I know I didn't include it into this video, but you should definitely stop by Fellowship. That place is super cool. It's the only store that I've been to multiple times. It was also my first game store that I had ever gone to. The staff and the people there are super cool, and it's always a really, really cool time. Go check out their new location. They just opened up on July 4th, and it's a super cool new spot they got going on there. You won't regret it. Check it out. That wraps up the Austin game store crawl. If you like the adventure, stick around, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And please let me know your favorite local game store down in the comments, and maybe I'll visit your city next. If you guys have stuck around this long, thank you so much for getting through the duration of the video. Sorry for any jank and any weird editing. I'm trying to get it down. I definitely learned that I did not record enough. Didn't get the shots that I really wanted to and that I thought I had, and I will make those improvements in the future. If you guys have any other comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever feedback, leave it down in the comments along with your favorite game store. It would be super appreciated. But yeah, I'm going to leave for now, for real this time. Hope you guys liked the video, and I'll talk to you later.